So, who gives counselling to counsellors? Hello everyone, my name is Rich Pearson. I'm a professional counsellor and psychotherapist based in Falmouth in Cornwall, and today I'm going to be talking about supervision. So the short answer to the question, who gives counselling to counsellors, is other counsellors. So everyone who's a counsellor will have, or should have, their own counsellor, therapist, who can help them to sort out their own stuff, because it's really important that we're kind of in check with what's going on with ourselves before we try and help other people. It's like that old thing about when an oxygen mask comes down on an aeroplane, you've got to put your own mask on first before you help someone else. You're no good to anyone else unless you've given yourself a chance to help yourself as best as you can. So we all have our own counsellors, but beyond that, we've got to talk to someone about our clients. We've got to make sure that what we're doing is actually right, helpful, therapeutic, beneficial to the client, which is where the role of a supervisor comes in. Now, a supervisor, I kind of think of them as like super counsellors. They're people who have been counsellors for a long time and have done a separate course in supervision, which is basically giving really constructive, objective feedback to counsellors so that they can better serve their clients, basically. A supervisor is someone who you go and talk to, and there are sort of recommended hours, so an amount of hours that you will have done, an amount of clients that you will have seen before you should go and see a supervisor. Most counsellors who are full-time counselling will probably see a supervisor once a week, if not more. Generally, I try and see a counsellor like every 8 to 10 hours of client hours that I've had. So if I've spent 8 hours with various different clients, I'll try and go and see my supervisor for 1 hour. And what you do basically with a supervisor as a counsellor is to talk about the different aspects of your clients. And again, you anonymize things. So confidentiality is important, and we still aim to respect it as best we can. But we have to, as I say, talk to someone. So we generally use numbers or initials or pseudonyms, and we say, this is what happened with this client. So I might say that, I had this client, I'll tell them their age, their gender, their ethnicity, their background, anything that gives them a little bit of a chance to make a sort of general mental picture of the person I'm treating. And then I'll detail some of the things that they've brought to the session and some of the things that I gave them feedback on, or some of the things that I said. And the job of the supervisor is to try and see how well I'm serving the client there and to give me feedback so that I'm doing okay. And then the supervisors will also go and see hopefully a counsellor and also another kind of supervisor. So someone is always watching the next person up the chain, so that the person at the start of the chain, which is the client, is the person who we're all trying to serve the best and make sure that our own stuff isn't getting in the way, that we're not getting confused with certain types of theory, so we're not applying misconceptions or anything else like that, because there's a lot of theory in counselling and it is easy sometimes to forget it, and a supervisor can say, do you mean this when you actually said that? So things like that are really helpful. And there's another type of supervision, which is group supervision. So a group of counsellors might book out a supervisor, and we can all talk to each other and give each other feedback, because there's a lot of really great benefit in what other counsellors might pick up on your own practice. For a start, you might say, I've got this client who's got this issue, and someone else in that sort of supervision group might say, I've got a client just like that. What have you said to them about this, that, or the other? And it really helps to share those things around. But again, confidentiality is always respected, and it's really, really important that we maintain and make it clear to all clients that supervision is just a part of the therapeutic process and not something that we're doing just to sort of get it off our chest, even though it is helpful, because the whole point of counselling to an extent is holding people, is taking some of that stuff out of them and saying, I'll bear some of the weight of that. It sounds a bit ethereal, maybe when I say it like that. or not particularly literal. But when you've gone and seen 5 clients in a day, as I have done, you get home at the end of that day and you're tireder than you ever know, and you might be really emotional, you might snap at people a bit because you've spent 5 solid hours listening to other people's issues, concerns, problems. And it's not that it's a drag listening to those things. I've never been bored once in a counselling session, but I've been emotionally affected by some of the things that my clients have said to me, and I've related to some of the things that my clients have said to me, and it's easy for some people to leave their work at the office, and it's not so easy for a counsellor to do that, which is why we have all these checks and balances in place, like having our own counselling, like having our own supervision, like having the opportunity to do group supervision, that all these things are in place so that we work in the ethical framework that has been laid out, and again, try and best serve our clients. So that was a brief explanation on supervision, which I hope was really helpful. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys all tomorrow for the next video. Thanks very much.